Hey everyone, today I thought I would share with you how we started our urban garden in this very small space. So I keep saying small space to try to give you some sort of perspective. It is like 18 feet this way and 23 feet this way, and then come back, and then there's a little area over here that is some buckets, which is very messy, but we have taken over. So let me explain this to you. So this also, if you didn't know, is a shared space. So I share my patio with my neighbors and the yard and the garage spaces, and there's a swing set and there's garbage cans. I mean, it is very urban. We are in the city, and I just thought I could shed some light on my little space and how you can try to make this your own little like sanctuary back here. So we have been here for 6 years, and we've been adding to our collection through the years. So we started with literally just a couple containers, and this box over here was one of our first bigger ones that we've built. So I will share a little bit about that as we go through this tour. But wanted to give you maybe some inspiration on some ideas and tips, and where you can find some really cool things to make your urban garden special. So through these years as we've been collecting, we add a lot, we change a lot, because some things don't work well. So like some tomatoes might not work well in this box, or the placement doesn't work well here. There's a lot of trees and canopies that change throughout each year because we are not trimming trees around here. Some of these trees are not on the property, so you have to go with this little space and how things change and what you need to do to kind of just ebb and flow throughout all of your boxes. So most of our containers are from auctions and real estate sales, or estate sales, and very little bit on rummages and actual like stores that we've made some real purchases. Some are gifts, but again, I've been lucky to have somebody, my garden partner in crime here, with all these auctions that we were able to find some really unique pieces. So I want to share with you again today some of our creative containers that we have, which makes it, I think, really, really unique and interesting. So again, I love the creativity behind the spaces, and maybe you can get inspired to do some things on your own, or to start like thrifting and finding some different boxes, containers, things that you can build. One thing I will say is that with all of our containers, we like a different level of mixtures of materials and colors and sizes and heights, and working with all the different levels in your space. So using steps, using stools, plant stands, wood, anything that you can to create all this height, because then you can really maximize what you are looking at and how your garden can thrive. Let's go check it out. My favorites that I want to show you on the tour today are a bunch of boxes. And to start, we have these old toolboxes, and they are from farm auctions, and farmers put these together. In the auctions, they would sell for like $5 with tools in it, and they're super unique because they were just like made by whatever and however the farmer needed it to be. And now they are pretty trendy, and you can find them in like thrift stores and, again, estate sales, rummages, and they might be like $30-40. So we've got these for a steal, and I love them for flowers. They're just super cool and unique. Okay, probably my second favorite are these metal pails, or our old mop buckets. So these are from the Bethesda Lutheran home, like a nursing home in Watertown. Thank you. And there was like a room filled with 25 of them maybe in an auction. So got them for super cheap. What I love is that they are on wheels, so they are as old as they are, and as even all the years I've had them here, they just do great. They wheel around. There's a handle again, they add extra texture and elements to the space. So I have about 5 or 6 around that you'll see. This is a beautiful porcelain pot from an estate sale for like $3. And there's our bunnies. Well, I move boxes around, and then this is how I end up with a lot of plants to propagate. So this one will be started in the kitchen in a minute. Let me show you. So now we have a bunch of wood boxes that are on the list of my favorites that have a story to it. And again, Brandon has a really awesome eye for these cool finds. So this is one that had military flares that were used to ship like for Vietnam, and it's a really, really heavy duty box. It has these really cool handles on it, if you can see. And we have done some better protecting of this box with some, I don't know, what do we use on the outside? some kind of protective sealer on the outside. I know, right? Okay, second one that's pretty cool, that's been doing really great. I usually put my lettuce in here. I am in the middle of succession planting, so I just have some flowers up here for fun, but I have some different lettuces growing under grow lights in the basement that I will bring out again once they're ready to go outside. This is a box that used to be used for fruit, like apples in like the 1950s, so how they would store and sell some of the fruit. So pretty cool piece. Okay, this right here is again from another vintage industrial auction in West Dallas. So these boxes have these little metal plates on them, and they were stacked. They were used to stack up and hold metal pieces, and they were on wheels, and they could, you know, cart it around the factory or whatever. So Brandon bought a ton of these. They're awesome. We've been able to use them through the years. We've actually stacked them as well for potatoes. And then, you know, as the potatoes, you need to bury them. So they've been really cool for that. So they've been some longtime staples in this garden, and love them. And let's just check out the cucumbers while we're here, because they're doing amazing. And we will probably have cucumbers hitting us on the head when we walk out of the house very soon. Okay, this one also in this area. Again, just a super simple box, but it's been so great. It's been lasting all these years. There was like metal stamping, I think is what they use this one for. Again, just industrial auction. Fine. This box is from Spencer Lens, so there is most likely a very high quality microscope, something shipped in here. This is from the 1930s. So it's a super old, and I know you're thinking there's dirt and water and it's starting to warp on the sides, but it's pretty cool to have, and we know we can get a lot of these boxes again at auctions or estate sales, and try to have some good finds here. So this one is cool. We'll be able to protect it. But on that note, we will definitely need to resurrect this box. This is one of my favorite ones. You can see there was a typewriter in here. So this is what they used to ship typewriters in, and like just the edges are so cool, and it broke down pretty fast after just 1 year. So we'll take the wood off and make sure that it's protected, and even if we're fastening it to another box, just because it is pretty cool, and I want this back in the garden. Okay, then we have this one over here. Again, just another industrial auction find. Most likely some motor or some big metal part in there, and then we added wheels in the bottom, so it does wheel around. This has been the home of my green beans for quite a while. Okay, so I may have mentioned earlier, if I haven't, this was very much a budget-friendly way that you can create this space, because there are 250 plants. How do you house all these plants? Well, all of these buckets were $2.50 a piece from an auction, and they're large. I mean, these are very, very large pots. Unfortunately, the gentleman that passed away at this estate sale in auction was a master gardener and had extra grow lights and heat lamps and some really great things that we were able to find. But again, this this haul with all of these pots with really quality dirt and actually established plants came last year. So I mean, big, huge peppers, tomatoes. It was awesome. So we were able to not only take care of those plants and be able to eat all the fruits and the tomatoes and the peppers, but we were able to use them this year. So again, this space is not very beautiful because it has been like just a house of weeds, but this is just raw and authentic and what we have. So we just try to cover up all the weeds with these huge. So this was one of the first boxes that we built, and it was from a big pallet, and actually like a big pallet box that I had found at work. So I worked for the Wisconsin Athletic Club, and we had a bunch of weights and other equipment in there. So we said yes, we would take that box, and we basically tore it apart and added some other things that we needed, including some metal legs. Some of these other pieces here that you'll see on these the three big boxes we have. This is from screen printing, like a drying rack. So again, more auction finds, but it's great to have some airflow and the plants to be able to rest on something. These are scaffolding poles. So you can see on all of our big boxes with the tomatoes, that is what we use to be able to grow them vertically with strings. And then of course it helps hold up all of our beautiful lights. Well, we'll stop here. So these were closet doors, yes. So take it apart, again, adding in some extra wood and different pieces for legs, and we got a pretty cool, unique piece. And even if it's only gonna last for so long, let's say 5 years, so what? Like at that point, I'll probably be sick of it and want something different. And then this one back here is a new one from this year. So again, this was also made from some pallet board from a crane company. So that was, again, something just a really cool, awesome, free find that we were able to take the wood from and enhance it with some different wood that is needed to make legs and make it functional. So you might be thinking, I don't go to auctions, where am I gonna find all these boxes? But you can be really creative, again, with rummage sales, estate sales, or just rummaging through old finds with like friends and family or things they want to get rid of. Also, just at stores where you might not think that something is built for a plant or a flower, and my mind always thinks that way. It's like, how do I make this into a container? Or that would be a really cool container. How do you put holes in the bottom? So there's some really cool ways and creative ways that you can make things new again in your garden. This is a wine box, so you can find a lot of really cool wine boxes at your big box liquor store, $5. So these work really well for lettuce. Insect netting is a must. Even though it's not beautiful, the birds will go crazy and eat all of your lettuce otherwise. So, but again, really easy way to add a different layer of materials in your urban garden. This is a enamelware, or kind of like porcelain pot that was from a farm auction with a handle. It was rusted on the bottom, so of course it was like, yes, let's use this. There's already holes rusted on the bottom for me for drainage, so why not put a plant in it? This is another one that's unique, that the first year that Brandon bought this home was like, no, and now I can't help but love it. So it is from an artist from Jefferson? Montello, Wisconsin. Leroy Kane. And it's super weird and creepy, but really fun, and it helps when I put my absolute favorite little flower, lobelia, in here. You can't help but smile, and again, it keeps it super interesting and fun. And then where I started out telling these boxes, that I broke this as I was moving a box, so now I'm going to propagate this. So this just goes right in here, super simple. This will be in my window for a couple weeks until you see roots on the bottom, and then we plant it. I've done, I think 4 already this year, so different pots of coleus, different varieties, and I'll continue to do that through the fall and winter, and then overwinter them and use them next year in the garden.